Please, those online, please accept us because we're waiting for the covering to be fully set up before we go ahead. So please, we'll just forge ahead immediately. So I'm going to start by talking about two major elements that will enable anybody to close sale. Two major elements that will enable anybody to close sale. All right. So just like we have established earlier that for every salesperson or salesman to be effective and successful, you have to own a product, because when you own a product, you cannot be broke, you cannot be poor. But it is not enough to own a product, because you must learn how to build an enterprise around your product in order to be a successful salesman. Okay, there are two basic elements that will prove your success as a marketer or as a salesperson. All right. The first one is strategy. The first one is strategy. Okay. The second one is called tactics. The first one is strategy. The second one is called tactics. You have to pay attention to what I'm saying, because a lot of people find it difficult to close sales. Everything around major companies, major conglomerates is pitched around sales and marketing. All right. Every company that gets established within the first 2 years statistically shuts down. 70% of companies that are set up shut down within the first 2 years of operation. No. Any company that is built and it survives the first 2 years of establishment will have survived the first threshold and they will thrive. All right. So statistically, first 2 years is the thriving point for every establishment. And this thing we're talking about, sales and marketing, is the front end origo that falls around everything, around every company. How they sell, how they market. The usual thing is that when they are not able to pull the threshold around sales and marketing, they will break down. Some staffs where they'll just get broken down and all of that, discouraged. Some will even get into trauma and depression and all of that. Before you know, everything just crashed down. It rises and falls within the subject matter of sales and marketing. So it's very, very important. So the two basic elements that will drive every successful salesman is strategy. The second one is tactics. So what is strategy? Strategy, I say, is simply deciding who is your target customer. That's the first question a realtor, a salesman, or a marketer will ask themselves. You decide who is your target customer. Okay? Because imagine someone does not get to define this. You don't know who your customer is. You just set out, you want to say something, and you are just talking to everybody that you see, telling them about your program. Remember, I say for every marketer or salesperson, to be successful, you must draw out what is called a marketing program. And this marketing program is a combination of your strategy and your tactics. So the combination of your strategy and tactics is what produces what is called a marketing program. All right. So Mrs. Amaka, please, can you mute your mic? Yes, can you mute your mic? All right.
Yes.
Okay, mute it. Mute your mic so that I will not be hearing you. Okay. All right. I said the combination of your strategy and your tactics is what produces what we call a marketing program. And for you to be a successful, I want to hamper it again. For you to be a successful salesperson or marketer, you have to definitely create a marketing program, because it's your marketing program that decides how you float this sales business. You don't just wake up and do things. You have to do it intentionally. That's how you disrupt the game. That's how you take over from the people who have been doing it. So first of all, you have to identify who your customer is. Everybody is not your customer. Everybody is not your customer as a salesperson. So the first task around strategy is to identify who your customer is. All right. When you identify who your customer is, then you choose the right product and production channel. The second thing you have to do is to choose the right product and production channel. Mrs. Amaka, you have not muted your mic. Please go to there's a mic place before this thing. Mute it so that we will not be hearing you. The noise from your angle is disrupting our recording, please. Thank you. So, you have to first of all do what? Identify who your customer is. Then you now choose your product and their distribution channel. So of course, you know what your product is here. Realty, your product here is land. It could be house in other instances. Okay, that's your product. But another important thing is your distribution channel. You have to identify what your distribution channel is. Okay, so your distribution channel will be done in partnership with your tactics so that you'll be able to define, how do I reach my target customer? What is my distribution strategy? How do I expand? How do I multiply? This woman, you don't know how to mute my. Please, if anybody is where you are, Mrs. Amaka, tell them to help you to mute your mic. The noise from your background is disturbing our session, please. So, all right. So the next thing you have to do is to create a reason why people should buy from you. You create a reason why people should buy from you. The first one is to identify who your customer is. The second one is to choose your distribution, your production and distribution strategy. Then the next one is to create a reason why your customer should buy from you. Every customer needs a reason, and I will tell you why as we progress downwards. All right, I will tell you why you should create a reason why your customer should buy from you, because everybody needs a reason. I told in the teaching at Onitsha, I told them that you must create a strong why, because when you identify your strong why, then your how becomes easy. When you have a strong why, your how becomes easy. Your why is your goal, okay? How to achieve that goal is your plan. So it's easy to make a plan when you have a goal set down, all right? So, but it's very, very important that you create a reason why your customer should buy from you, okay? The last one is that you have to develop a consistent marketing focus. This one is where a lot of people fail and falter, all right? Because people come, they do it the first week, the second week, the third week. Imagine someone said, I have stayed 1 year, I have stayed 2 years, I have not executed, and they are doing it not because of the profits, because they have not made any, but because they have garnered enough knowledge that sustain them in the system. So you have to create a consistent marketing focus so that if there is no apparent result, because why I use the word apparent is that sometimes results may be manifest, okay, but they are not visible. All right, results may be manifest, but they are not visible. So the day they become visible, you think that's the day you created result. Knowledge is also a kind of result. All right, knowledge is a kind of result. Each new knowledge you acquire is a result. So even if the result is not so visible, doesn't mean that you're not doing results. So sometimes you are in a particular endeavor and you have not perceived yourself to have made manifest visible results, so to speak. Don't give up. You have to create a consistent marketing focus in order to thrive as a marketer under the element of strategy. Remember, we said there are two basic strategies to successfully close a deal as a marketer, which the combination of the dual create what is called a marketing program. The first one is strategy, the second one is tactics. All right, then what is tactics? We have succeeded in telling you what to build around that constitutes a marketing strategy. Then what is tactics? Can anybody help us? Like, what do you think, by your layman understanding, what do you think tactics is? What do you think a tactics is? Because sometimes the two of them could suggest to be the same. All right, the two of them can suggest to be the same. Okay, any suggestion? Okay, sir.
I'll say that tactics is a special skill
Okay,
applied to achieve a particular goal.
awesome, awesome. That's okay. Any other attempt? Okay, that's good. Tactics is a style. All right. Okay, to combine their two attempts, let us fuse a different words that will suggest means. Tactics is the means through which you execute your strategy. So you see, we have established strategy to be arms and legs expressed in different things. Then we are now talking about tactics. Tactics is the means by which you achieve, execute, or accomplish your strategy. That means through which you achieve your strategy is called tactics. So most times people think they need only strategy, but they don't know that any strategy without tactics will end up as a nightmare. Every strategy without a tactics will end up as a nightmare. That's why most time people think I have structured plans, I have structured down goals, I have set targets and all that. At the end of the day, those things don't come to pass. Why? Because you don't build tactics around your strategy. And permit me to say that if every strategy requires a strategy, the strategy of your strategy is called tactics. Yes. The strategy of your strategy is called tactics. So every strategy requires a strategy for accurate implementation. All right. So while we have explained strategy to mean identifying who your customer is and then choosing your distribution channel, okay, and all the other attributes and maintaining a consistent marketing focus. Then how you achieve all these things we said as explained as strategies, what is called tactics. That tactics is now that means. How? Let's give instances of tactics. It could be a brochure. Okay, it could be an advert placement, it could be a publicity trend, it could be trust. Trust is one of the powerful tactics to accomplish strategy. So I know I talked about brochure, I talked about publicity, advertising, and all that, but let me pitch it around 3 instances. What tactics could be? First one is publicity. The second one is advertising. Then the third one is trust. These are tactics. 3 basic tactics. All right, as a marketer, one of the biggest things you need to invest your weight on is trust. As a marketer, as a salesperson, one satisfied customer will lead to an effective sellout. One satisfied customer will always attract more customers to you. One satisfied client will lead to additional customership. So what people need, there are people who have money. They want to patronize your brand. They want to buy your product. They want to invest in your brand. Their issue is trust. There are people who have money they're looking for. Who do I trust? Someone is telling me, I just want to raise capital. Then I told him the problem is not capital. The problem is trust. There are people I know currently, their problem is, who do I give this money? Who do I trust with this money? Because a lot of people have experienced a scenario where they invest money in a particular system or thing, and then they don't get the effectiveness or the efficiency of what they invested money for. So they are looking for, you know, people in diaspora, they are looking for who to trust. Some of them, family members have defrauded them. They sent money home, build the project, and they don't get to see anything at the end of the day. So everybody in time, currently in real time, is looking for where to make investment, commit their money, and then they will see the ripple effect, positive ripple effect of what they have committed money to. So if you create your time and devotion towards building trust, allowing people to bank on trusting you, then you have attracted a good market for yourself as a salesperson. Trust is one of the first things. Okay, let it be a propeller that people will refer others to you. They say, you're looking for who, you keep that in and all that. Go and meet this guy. I used to give this illustration that one of the 10 biggest people that pay me are people I probably may not have seen, or they are not even close to me. They are people I never met, but I handled multi-million of their projects. They are abroad. They send money to me. We have never met. We have never seen. And we do multi-million projects. It's built around trust. And they'll refer you to other people. That's why I said one satisfied customer will continue to refer you to other customers. So these 3 major basic tactics we're talking about is around publicity, advert, and trust. One of the ways you can add legs and hands to your trust system is by building a physical contact structure, which we could interpret to be an office. Do you know that even as a salesperson working for Big Real Property Consult Limited, for instance, doesn't stop you from owning an office? As a realtor, it's your big office. You can have an office. Somebody wants to interact with you, refer them to your office. Office is one of the physical ways of building trust. You see, people want to deal with you. Where can I meet you? You can't take them to an eatery. You don't take them to your house. They want to meet with you in a physical contact point, which is your office. So office is one of the expressive points of building trust. Okay? So if you learn to have office, it will also help. Next to that is build a corporate registration around yourself. Some of you are handling businesses that are not registered. Register it, create an account for it. Don't you know that some of you, there are some banking systems that permit running a corporate account, or what do they call it? There are these, even in microfinance bank, there are all these, what do they call it? Is it a cooperative account? Yeah, there are some cooperative accounts you can do in a corporate name, even as a realtor. You can expand it. And please, let me even say this, since we are subject matter of what we're talking about is realty, okay? You can actually collaborate in order to expand your business as a salesperson, as a marketer, all right? Collaborate with different companies, collaborate with different establishments. Realtors don't sell for one brand, they sell for any brand as much as possible. That is how you expand your coast. You may have a client who may not want to buy from a particular company because of the locations of their property, but you get a client who may want to buy from other companies because the location of their land is in a favorable place. But you cannot say because you were recruited by Big Green Property Consult Limited that you're not going to sell for that other company. No, what we project is being a realtor, creates more opportunity for you to succeed and excel as a salesman. Because register with Homeland, register with Success City, register with Big Green Property Consult Limited, register with multiple companies, sell for them. Your job is to make sales and you earn your commission, and that's the business. No form of sentiment is there. If you allow any man tie you down with sentiment, your business is over. So feel free as a realtor and as a marketer, as a salesperson, work for any establishment. All right. So that is another room for that. So coming to advert and publicity, these are things that people underrate. Okay. I want you to know that the biggest paying industry is the advert and publicity. So if you want to take what you are doing to the next level, give it a voice. Give it a voice. People want to hear things. And how do you measure on this? If you are not yet having a strong commitment towards social media, then you are not going to succeed as a salesperson in the 21st century and the future where we're going to. Because social media is the real deal. You see, this physical movement you are seeing, that's not more the real deal. Okay, the real deal is social media. Is the internet is the real deal. Okay, it is possible that I can stay in my bedroom and reach 10,000 people all over the world inside my bedroom. I can't do that physically. Okay, you have to learn how to publicize yourself. Okay, you have to learn how to market yourself. Okay, learn how to spread your tentacles. You have your phone and you are complaining you don't have money. Okay, can't you just get up every day, do a 10 minutes recording, put it on YouTube? Makes sense. When you get knowledge, makes sense, put it on YouTube, you get followers, you get viewers. Before you know, people call you to come and teach and all that. All right, I'm traveling. I have more than 5 invitations underneath now to come and talk and train people in different places. What? I have to commit myself to knowledge. When you learn, people, there's a man that wanted to come and subscribe and register as a realtor. He said, my motivation is not just to come as a realtor and sell. I want to get enough knowledge under you so that I'll go around training people. I say, I love that. Okay, bank around knowledge, build publicity around it, then spread your tentacles through advert and publicity. If you want to move and prosper, what is your strategy and tactics around publicity, around advert? All right, welcome, sir. Yeah, you have to build a strong system around it. So let's take, for instance, you are a realtor selling for maybe Crystal Garden Estate, of course, or different, or you are selling for any other listing. Don't bank on the advert and publicity of Big Real Property Consult or Crystal Garden or any other company. Don't bank on them. What is your publicity strategy? What is your advert strategy? Far beyond doing videos on the property and telling people to come and buy, can you invent a new strategy to create a publicity stream around the properties you are selling? Apart from doing a video and telling people to come and buy, can you create innovation and an enterprise? Don't forget, I said if you want to successfully control wealth, build an enterprise around wealth. All right, build an enterprise around your product. That's how to enjoy wealth. If there's no enterprise, what is that enterprise? Enterprise is the ability to create innovativeness and build innovativeness and creativity around your product. It's not enough. What people do now is realtors go to the land, do video, talk to people who come and buy, and that's what their strategy is. Full publicity stunts. How many of you as realtors have been able to collaborate with a comedian to build a skit around the property you are selling, don't you know it can get you more presence, response, views on social media platform and all of that more than anything? Okay, for instance, I've been posting reels on Facebook. I posted a reel where one-on-one did the marketing in the land. That reel got more views apart from when I did the Valentine gift for my babe that got 1,300 views. All right, but that one got up to 1,000. Others, if I post highest, 800 people will view, 500 people will view. But let me even ask you, all these status you do post, how many people view it? Let me take, for instance, you are just beginning, you have 50 audience or 100. Don't you know you can build a market around them? What is even a market? Because if you talk about identifying your customers, what is a market? Ask yourself, identifying your market, what is a market? Because some of you think market is biri or international market. That's not market. A market is a group of people that are willing and able to buy. I brought in two big attributes: willing and able. Anybody who is willing but is not able to buy is not your market. Anybody who is able but not willing to buy is not your market. Your market must be willing and able to buy. Okay, so add this to identifying who your customer is, because I told you everybody is not your customer. But when you understand the puzzle around knowing who your customer is and knowing who your market is, then you'll be able to marry it with the Pareto principle. We call it the 80-20 rule, which proposes that it is 20% of your effort that will give you 80% of your desired result. This is what I propose as a business consultant. All right. If you want to excel, okay, if you want to excel, don't just exert all your effort just doing everything you know possible to achieve success. No, you only kill yourself. I have 60 years, you would have worn out. No, don't just do hard work, do smart work, because we have three kinds of work. We have the hard work, we have the smart work, and we have the network. Okay, so not just the hard work, build smart work that is bringing leverage, bringing knowledge into what you do, into your product. By so doing, just identify that 20% effort, which if you pull it into this industry, if you pull it into this product, you'll be able to what? Accelerate your sales and marketing. Take it to the next zenith, all right? Identify those 20% effort, leverage on it, expand it, build trust, advert and publicity around it, then it will give you 80% result. Now, what people do is that they will exert 80% effort, and at the end of the day, they will get 20% result. That's what is obtainable now. But that is a life hack. Actually, the reverse is supposed to be the case. It is 20% of your effort that will earn you 80% of the result you have at the end of the day. So let's just say you spent 6 years going to school. It is 20% effort you committed through studies that gave you the grade you had at the end of the day. That's the Pareto principle. Yes. But guess what? The brain behind the success of this principle is, how do you identify, okay? How do you identify this 20% effort and not waste the other 80 trying to achieve this thing? Why don't you just identify what the 20 is, build your effort, navigate around that 20, then you have your result. Do you know that people get paid in thousands of dollars from the comfort of their room? They have identified this. They have defined it. Remember, I told you that if you identify your strong why, your how becomes easy, because your how is your goal, while your how is your plans. So when you have a strong why, your goal becomes your how becomes very easy. So how do you identify your how or why to get your why? It's very simple. What are the efforts I have to impute in that will give me this immediate result? That is the difference between effectiveness and efficiency. By so doing, you will be able to bring yourself to a closer and more narrow system and structure to build. What I'm telling you is, as a realtor, as a salesperson, as a marketer, not as an industry, not as a corporate CEO to pull. No, this is what you can do to pull off. I was giving him an instance. I was talking to someone who can buy property of Success City. Okay, I was talking to somebody who will buy property under Homeland. All right, I have a brand, Big Green Property Consult Limited. All right, but it's not exclusive to the fact that if a client don't want to buy my property, I can introduce them to what is possible. It could be my point of acceleration, but for someone else, it could be their limitation. If someone calls you, do you have a land under your estate that you're selling within this geometry? All right, you say no, we don't have. That's an error. In this business context, we don't have a no as a response. Look for it. Well, he asked me if I have a property at so place. I say not yet. I didn't say no. So you must put it in context. Either it is not available for the current time, not yet. We are working on something like that. There should be no. Don't bring no into the context. For a marketer and a salesperson, no is not in the picture. Look for an answer around it. Explain yourself. All right? Because in this context, we don't have any excuse. Don't say, but I don't have any property there. Now, why will I give him hope? No. In the business context, all excusers are liars. In the business context, all excusers are liars. I have said it is better to be in failure than to be in excuse. Because you can move from failure to success, but you can't move from excuse to success. Okay? We learn more from failure than success. Very simple. When you succeed, what are you learning from it? Not you're just happy and excited. But when you fail, you pick up your pieces, get back, beat your chest, and then you keep moving on. You learn something from there. All right? So don't forget, we are pitching our tentacles around what strategy and tactics. For those of us who came earlier, I want to refresh our mind to this, purport. We are talking about how to build a marketing program. And for you to build a marketing program successfully, you have to what? Learn how to marry your strategy and your tactics, because we saw those are the two basic elements that will lead to the success of every salesman and marketer. Okay? So if you build your tentacles around this, we're talking about target, around trust, advert, and publicity, you have had the day. You have had the day. So please, let me even interrogate our consciousness. What are you spending as a realtor in respect of publicity and advert? Going to do video around a property is not publicity. It's what everybody does. And you have to, for you to stand out, okay, you have to learn to do something different. Okay, we're coming to that. You have to learn to do something different. Okay? One of the biggest mistakes I say people do as salespeople, as marketers, as realtors, is to think that because you have a good product that you have an advantage. It makes you just know you have less effort to commit in sales. You just feel, we have a property just by the bank of the road. He sells himself, he markets himself. Come and tell people, do video, come. No, that is a very big mistake. Let me tell you the attitude, the one vital attitude about people. As someone who have related with different class of people, I've been to 26 states out of 36 in Nigeria. I've related with different people, culture, background, and orientation. I can tell you this for free. People need motivation to be able to believe in what you're doing. Even your own blood brother will have money to patronize in you, but he will not do it until he's motivated to do it. So to sell successfully or to close a sale is not enough to have a good product. You must build motivation around your product. Don't just tell them, I have a property around Ukwachi, he's selling for 2.5 million. And you think because it's an advantageous position, I have a property around where Kanwanko bought 100 plots. Just beside it, you can. It's a corporate advantage, could be that, because Kanwanko's prestige could be an added selling value, all right, but not for some class of people. They don't care about that. They are looking for trust, just among the three indices we have talked about under tactics, all right. You need to motivate them. You need to tell them things that will make their pockets slippery. Guess what? You need to learn how to use your words. Every salesman, every marketer is a talker. Not just that okay, sorry, yeah, I've joined. Sorry for the interruption. Not just that you make sale, okay, but you intentionally go to learn how to convince people. It's an art. Go to Coursera, go to all these places, take free courses. Strategic communication, how to talk to people. I was telling him at my younger age, as I was growing up, I learned how to convince anybody in such a way that the living, the dead, and the unborn could do it no better than me. Convince people is an art. You must learn it. As a salesperson, that must be one of your sharp marketing tools you can use to disrupt the competition within your environment. That's how you grew up within your enclave, within your immediate enclave. Everybody's talking about you. That guy is too much. He's making sales. He's just selling off. You go and talk to somebody, the person says no. I go and talk to the person says yes. There's something I told the person that you didn't tell the person. So the cooperative advantage is a knowledge Build a virtue around knowledge. Let knowledge be your love language. Be addicted to it, because what makes A to be richer than B is what they know. What A knows that B does not know. There is an art and science around selling and marketing. You must learn it. So it's not enough to just want to be a realtor because you want to make money. That's why I'm not pitching my hustles around making money. I have been in the public sector for no less than 15 years. I've been teaching people knowledge. So far beyond knowledge, we are into the consulting stream. I can tell you how to do it and get it working. My wife she will tell you, I'm a master strategist. I will be in the house. I say, you see this thing? I will tell her, this is how you do it. She will just be laughing and this guy. You know, when you are just like this guy, you have to learn to watch your onions. Okay? Let people be able to say things about you. In a room where they are discussing who can pull this, they say, there's only one guy who can close this deal. They have to go and look for Mr. Gabriel. He is the only guy in this city. Build a certain level of competence. All right? Build a certain level of competence, because the world will never give you a space until you hit from the platform of competence. The world will never give you a space to compete until you hit from the place of competence. What are you competent about that can get you referrals? That's one thing. What can you do that can make people refer you? Is it because you're a lawyer? There are more than 5,000 lawyers in Nigeria. So what is special about you? The only advantage is that if you come to almost every family, and everybody has a lawyer. So it will even demarket you, because they are telling you, my brother is a lawyer too. They won't pay you. What is your added advantage that will make people to patronize you? Is a question. And I want you to go and answer it. Write it as a question. Go back and answer it. You want to make a difference. And please, let's get back to that social media thing. If you have not taken it serious by now, you want to be a successful salesperson. If you don't have a good phone, get a good phone. If you are not used to social media, make sure you don't have an empty status. You see what you call WhatsApp status, let it not be empty. Create a program around your statusing. If it is 5 to 6 posts every day, make it consistent. 5 to 6. So that there are consistent audience you build. Remember, we said the last part of strategy is what? Building a consistent marketing focus. To establish that consistent marketing focus, you have to build a market around your publicity. Okay? Those people that view your status, should it be them just view your status where you go to restaurant to eat? They are your market. They are your potential market. Okay? So, what do you give them? Can I tell you something? Choose, or rather resolve, to decide what you want your market to think of you. It's an intentional thing. Don't just do things. Create a strong why around them. Because when you have a strong why, the how becomes easy. I have said this over and over again. So intentionally, there are things you post. You are acting and playing on the mind of your audience. This is what you want them to buy. Because they are invisible products we sell. Yes. They are invisible products we sell. Apart from having land to sell, they are invisible product. Reputation is an invisible product. Before people buy what you are selling, they'll first of all buy into you. And if they don't buy into you, they won't buy your product. All right? So when we talk about investing in yourself, there are things you sell. People need to know that you are not hungry before they can give you money. The first characteristics of the rich is that when they see you broke and gasping for help, if they want to invest with you, the first thing they think is that you're going to use their money to feed yourself. That's the psychology of the wealthy. Okay? So guess what? One of the things they do is to first of all watch you and look at your survival tendencies. What is your survival rating? What is your comfort like? So that's why when you see some of us reporting everything, you go to shopping mall, you post it. Report everything, because you have to show publicity and advert around your comfortability. Let people know this guy is not looking for money for food. It's not every problem you have, you post it on social media. You are demarketing yourself as a marketer and a salesperson. You are sending information that you don't know of. So since you can create a negative publicity without knowing, inadvertently, why don't you intentionally send out a positive publicity about yourself? Post things intentionally with a resolve to build a reputation within the mind of those who view your status. I have people that view my status from different places, all right? From different places, okay? Big people, commissioners, first class traditional rulers, different people, big clients, all right? Okay? Some of you, you have not made money and you have muted some people from viewing your status because you don't want them to see some silly things you post. No, that is your market that you are depriving. Get that. Go, and there are some people you have muted. Go back and unmute them. You see that prayer you have been praying, that is God answering you now by telling me to tell you to go and unmute it. Because the person that will patronize you and buy your product, you have muted him. How can he see you? How can he see what you're selling? And some of you, see, until you are obsessed about success, you can't find it. You are talking about selling real estate. How many realties do you post in your status a week? You post 2 lands selling. The other one, you go and write something that does not make sense. You go and post something, a different subject matter. And let me tell you something. Remember, I said to succeed under strategy, you have to create a consistent marketing focus. Generate one genre. Post it. I have said it. Don't be a wandering generality. Strive to be a meaningful, specific. When you become a wandering generality, your audience tend to take you as a confused phenomenon. You don't represent a brand. You don't have something you are projecting. Today you post about sports. Today you post about real estate. Next tomorrow you post about music. You know every single thing about Davido. You know nothing about Otedola. Otedola did something about his last birthday. He decided to take a public bus to see if anybody could recognize him. Anybody who recognized him, he will reward the person handsomely with huge amount of money. He took bus, went around Lagos, came down, nobody recognized him. He was on video. He stood, even in all this, he stood, held hand like this, stayed in the middle. He didn't stand on the chair. Nobody recognized him. It brought out 2 sides. For me, what kind of life does Otedola live? That a man of his caliber stayed in the bus. The people in the street did not know who he is. All right? On a second thought, how come people are not so informed that a figure like Otedola could be among them and they don't know him? Do you know who Otedola is? That you see Dangote went up all of a sudden from $9 billion down to 20-something billion US dollar. The world had it as this is the strongest rise we have seen in recent short period of time. Why? Because Otedola made investment in Dangote's business. After having a fallout with Tony Elumelu, pulled out from Transcorp. All right? He had been thinking, where do I go into? Where do I go? He went and pulled into Dangote. And Dangote's business rose. All right? That guy who is so phenomenally rich, all right? He went into a bus publicly. People couldn't identify him. Most of these people, you even mention their name and use their name. If they come physically, you won't know them. Go and browse about their pictures. So it can happen to you tomorrow. You may just say, if I meet that opportunity, if I meet opportunities don't come in their true colors. Opportunity dress in rags. You see it, you pass it, you won't know. That's why most of us say, they told my father to come and buy that land 400 naira in 2014. He refused. If he had got it today, they are selling that place 15 million. Every day, your parents are almost living in regret. If I had known. What would you want to bequeath to your own children? You want to live the same story for them? Learn to grab opportunity by force. Desperately run after these things. I have been so busy even to engage my mental destiny. There are some write-ups I was supposed to send to Mr. Gabriel. I have not been able to coordinate myself today because I have stressed my mental neurons. I have been committed to work. I have been studying. I have been sometimes, my baby, like last night, I was awake to around 1, 2 a.m. She was like, what are you doing in the living room? But I say I'm studying. If you come there, you may see me pressing my phone. Sometimes that's how I distract myself a little bit. I enter social media, I do a few stuff, I go back, I may read 1 or 2 things in my phone, I venture into this. I'm not a strong person who may come and stay 6 hours reading. No, I'm not like that. I distract myself because I told you before, I believe that the best form of education is called edutainment. Education and entertainment fused together. Don't miss our next weekend event, a week today. You will see the style of the event manager in me. Please don't miss, come. Because we know how to do this thing very well. And, coming back, this is the first major event I'm doing after 8 years. Okay. So, let me use this opportunity to, okay, market the meeting. We will be privileged to have Dr. Divine Adeola, okay, coming all the way from the United Kingdom, all right. Down here, we're going to be using the upper hall here. The venue was supposed to be Osborne, but this hall here is better than Osborne. So we're having the hall upstairs by my left here. That's going to be the venue for the training. But the lodgings for those who registered for it, we have paid participants, and other people are coming from Onitsha, Port Harcourt, Owerri, Enugu, and all that. We're going to lodge them, some of them who were paid, and then our guests, we have the biggest room there waiting for him and all of that. We have made payments and reservations for all these. I was discussing with Mr. Buchi. He was saying, sir, by now you should be running around. I said, I've done everything. I'm just waiting for the event to happen. All right. The only thing that is yet to be done is the feeding, which you can't start cooking now. You have to wait close to that period to do that. All right. So I'm giving out myself for all this, and you see 70 to 80% of people that will be in that event will not pay for it. Absolutely, they'll be coming for free. And of course, I was telling them there were about $2,000 going down for that event, and it's on a selfless base. So the reason why we're doing this is to drive a level of change around the city. Because we're not just coming to build a sensation around. No, we're coming with a brand. And this brand is a color, is a texture. We want people to harvest it, eat it, chew it, and not being able to excrete it from their system. We are building a culture, okay? It's a mindset, it's a civilization. So please spread the tentacles. That meeting, it will change your life. Dr. Divine Adeola, identifying with him have changed my thinking pattern. It changed my system around finance. All right. A few things I know I learned from him. I told you a copy of his book is sold for 45,000. If you go on Amazon right now, it will be more higher now because of the rise of dollar. All right. The guy, he's friends with Nii Adesoyan of Fifth Gear Plus, Jimmy Tewe, what's his name? Ayalade Arona and Moses Omovie. These are big guys in the industry disrupting the space. These are in their class. And of course, that his book was forwarded by David Monetier. David Monetier is the current highest paid African American in the world. Was the one that forwarded the book. And guess what? I'll be gunning for him too very soon. All right. If I have to, I ask somebody if I have to do that event for free and just ask people come. Okay, we'll be having a panel session. We'll be having Buchi in the panel session from Onitsha. We'll be having the CEO of 247 Group in the panel session. We'll be having CEO of Success City Realty in the panel session. We'll be having the one of the co-founders of Ebonyi Business School. How many of you know that there's a business school in Ebonyi? I know you will not know. The co-founders, Dr. Hilary Mweli, he will be there. These are the 4 basic guys that will be anchoring the session. Of course, we'll have another top bigger guy, but they have not said a yes yet. So these are the 4 people we have that will be running the panel sessions that day. I have to bring them down, even Buchi coming all the way from Onitsha, just to do the panel session, pay for his lodging and taking care of him. All right? Why wouldn't you want to participate? Because this is the only place I see you doing everything to make sure that people get enriched with knowledge, and they are waiting for you to come and beg them. It's also a culture. That's why I told you that it is not enough to have a good product. You must learn how to build a marketing program around your product so that you can have a successful sale. It's part of what I'm telling you here. You see, if you're in our platform, every morning I'll come. I will create a reason that will motivate more people to register. You notice that about me. So, and each time I do it, 2 or 3 people from the platform register. We are about 37 or 36 in the platform. This is a good product. I have told them I'm spending no less than $2,000 on this event. Okay? Yet people are not registering. People who have registered from the platform probably will be 15, half of the people there. They are all on social media, but just to click the Google form and register, they will not do it. But guess what? Each day I build a new knowledge around the event. 2 or 3 people register. This morning, I have come to post something. Somebody else has registered from the same platform, but they are there seeing it, but they will not register. That's why I've told you it's not enough to have a good product. It's not even enough to tell them to come and buy a good product. You have to be a motivator par excellence, because people need to be convinced. People need to be motivated and gingered into buying into you. Because until they buy you, they can't buy your product. I've said that. All right. So this is part of how to close deals. This is part of how to develop your marketing program. The moment you have a concrete marketing program, there's no way you will not make a sale. Because guess what? You're not sitting around looking for who to just tell about an available land to come and buy. No, you are taking courses. You are sharpening your convincing skills. You are taking over the space. All right. When you do that, you meet somebody. First of all, you have known your market, you have known your customer. How won't you close a deal? Because I've told you everybody is not a customer. That is your neighbor, that he has money does not make him your customer. You have to identify. Part of the creating your strategy we talked about is identifying your customer. After you have identified your market, identify your customer. How do you do these things? There are 6 steps to a marketing success. All right, I'll do this so that this will practically help you. All these things we talked about, you know how to do it. Okay, because I'm a very practical person. It's better for you to know how to do in practical what we teach in theory. All right, 6 steps to marketing success. How do you identify your customer? How do you do this? The first step to marketing success is what? Discovering where the money is. Discovering where the money is. Discover where is the money. Remember in the Holy Writ, when the tax collectors came to Jesus to get the money for tax from him, he asked the disciples who have the skill to fish. I used to emphasize it. He didn't call any other person. He called the one that had the skill in the area of fishing. That's why I said, today, if we are talking about references, what will people call you for? What is that which you are good for? They'll just call you as the guy that has the award in posting the highest meme. Meme Lord. That's what they will identify you as. Meme Lord. People now boast to be Meme Lord, called Meme Lord. And it won't pay them. People just like activity. They just want to be actively doing something. Everybody is hailing the main thing, but there's nothing coming out of it. I just discovered that down here. Okay? People are just, they like activity without productivity. They are doing something. They have convinced themselves that we trek from Roban stores to Pastoral Center. As long as they sweated and heat came out of them, they wiped it. They went to visit a friend and they came back. They think that they are active. They think they are not idle. But they are idle promas. Because they are just engaged in activity without productivity. But from today, if you are living here as a salesman, one mindset, every action you do must produce result. That's how you narrow down and compress your activity and productivity ratio to activate the 80-20 principle, to activate the Pareto principle, so that 20% of your effort can give you the 80% desired result you know. If anything you do does not yield result, either tentatively or immediately, then boycott it. That's how to, one of the ways to achieve that 80-20 rule, to make sure that whatever you do produces results. Okay? Your friends say, come now, come and visit me. I called one of the big guys here who just got a contract of 200 million last month. I called him, I said I want to see him. We were talking about Sunday. Well, guess what? He retorted and said, Harrison, if this thing you are talking, why you want to see me will produce money, let us see tomorrow. I told him, no, sir, tomorrow I have a training. Okay? He was ready. Let us see tomorrow and evening. Because you see people telling you, I'm busy, I don't have time. There's nobody that is busy. That's the truth. That they are busy for you is because you are not producing results. That's the truth. I'm busy. Structurally, you'll be able to create time for things because it's a matter of priority. Focus on what will yield immediate results. There was something I told Mr. Gabriel. There's something he was doing for me on the web, all right? And I was supposed to give him some payment, okay? So I was just redundant and I was waiting. When I saw him, I said, please bear with me. My style, if something is not giving me immediate visible results, I find it difficult to commit more profit into it. That's the way I wired myself. So when I'm busy running around a lot of things, I just check which one is, if I throw money now, see it. My babe knows. If I give you money, I'll stay there, be doing it. Do it here. When I wanted to go and start foundation in the village, I went there. For the first time I'm entering the land, they still cultivated heaps in the land. I told them I won't live here today until these heaps are graded, this thing cleared, the grass is cleared, everything, all the trees cut down. They say, you are coming now, let's leave it. You just showed us the place. Let's leave it. By tomorrow, I say, no, I won't be here tomorrow. I'm here today. I want this thing to happen. I stayed there. I was supposed to go and get my son back from school. I stayed in the village until it was almost time for their dismissal before I started driving down. I said, oh, God, you have to wait in school much more longer. because I want to see result. I'm addicted to result. And if you want to be a successful salesperson, you have to have that culture too. That's why I'm almost impatient. Because if I tell you to do something, I need you to give me a result. Don't tell me excuses. Don't tell me, just like in my consciousness, in the atmosphere of business, every excuser is a liar. I just want result. So if you don't give me result, I just feel you're just in excuse. All right. So discover where your money is. One of the places where your money is in every underserved client or customer. Every underserved client or customer. So you must be on the watch out. You know this particular business enclave. You know that their clients have been complaining, their customers have been complaining. They are not getting enough utility that they should get. Go and meet that customer, reach out to them. Every underserved customer is a potential money for you. That's where the money is. How many of you have heard about Billpoint? Billpoint is owned by Billard, right? It's very simple. What did the guy do? Do you know that people came to buy the app for $10 million? He refused. As at that time, they were offering him to pay. Okay, it was not even now that dollar is high. It was worth 4 point something billion. And the guy was ready. Okay, it was by that time it was worth 7 point something billion. The guy was ready to make the trade. He didn't even know that he will make as much money as he's making from it now. Something happened. The people from abroad that wanted to pay for the app insisted that they will pay with CBN rate, which was 400 and something naira, which will make it to be 4 point something billion. Meanwhile, in the parallel market, it is 700 and something. So the guy, that was why he said no, he won't sell it for 4 point something billion. Guess what? The guy is making almost 200 million from the app every month. So somebody that is making almost 200 million from the app every month, why should he have sold it 2-3 years ago for 4 point something billion, which you would have almost made half of it in a year or so more? So the guy discovered something. What the app does, of course, is banking, and he got his license a few years ago from CBN, 1.2 billion. He's working like a microfinance bank now. That is the only app that does not need a bank. Okay? Just like OPay and all these guys. But the guy studied and checked what customers needed. He had to do something different. So if you want to buy data of the data that will cost you 100,000, in Billpoint you buy it for 70,000. And it didn't stop the guy from making his profit. That's where the money is. If you go to Play Store and type the apps there, Billpoint is the fifth one. 2 days ago, it was number 1. Do you know what it means for it to be number 1 app? It means no app from number 1 to number 10 that you can buy less than, let me say, 200 to 300 million dollars. That's what it means. From number 1 to 5, you can't buy it with that money. And the guy is number 5 now, Billard. And that's not the only business he has. He has other business. Okay? So, discover where the money is. Look for deficiencies in satisfaction of other corporations and businesses. That's where the money is. Look for where they are not doing it well. Come in and fill the gap. That's how you make money. Look out for your competitors. Where are they deficient in meeting their customer satisfaction? Fill the gap. That's where the money is. So one of the first things you have to do in your journey to success as a marketer is to discover where the money is. So with what I'm teaching you now, you have discovered that it's not just enough to. So if you go to a civil service setting to advertise for land sale, you know that there's a challenge in civil service. Anybody who is earning 200 to 300,000 now, which we were celebrating, if somebody gets a federal job, you're celebrating he got a federal job because they're paying him 180, 200. But now he's not a middle class person, he's a broke person. He's poor. Because that money can't afford anything. I bought a carton of Indomie for 18,000 plus yesterday. 18,500 yesterday. So that money cannot do anything. If you go to market with it, it will just break down. So the person earning 200 to 300,000 is a poor man in Nigeria. So if you go to market for civil servants who are only in civil service, you may have a difficulty in closing sales. So in this instance, change your marketing strategy, change your market, change your customers. You may have been advertising to the wrong people. When you go to, okay, Alaba International, within the line of importers and exporters, you know that they have more equity. At that instance, they may just be looking for who to trust. Do they know you? Who can recommend you? You can go for who they know. Because if one person that they know can recommend you and say, yeah, I trust this person, pay, you have cashed out. Because you must learn to look for someone who knows someone that knows someone. That is the business networking. All right? So the next thing is become better than everyone else. The second step is to become better than everyone else. So it brings a contribution to how you learn. What is this person doing that's making him successful? Identify it and outsmart him what they are doing. Remember, I said there are three kinds of work. We have hard work, which involves your physical work, okay, your physical engagement, working something, okay. Your smart work engages your mental activity, mental knowledge, okay, in disrupting the system. Then your network involves your leverage. It involves your leverage. It involves relationship with people. Remember, I say my biggest source of income is relationship. My biggest source of income, not law, not even business, is relationship. Okay, there are just people that stay, they'll give me $500,000. Do you have somebody that can do that? So I was telling him, I have one guy who says he's going to send me 300K in this week. I just say I'll just throw it here. Okay. Do you have somebody that can just want to give you like that? Have you built your social capital, your social relevance? Okay. That somebody will say, I want to bless you, take 1 million. Okay. Become better than everyone else. Sharpen your tools. Don't just see yourself as a realtor. Just like when I trained for Mr. Jasper, I said everybody under, don't go and tell yourself you're a realtor. Say you're a real estate consultant. All right? Introduce yourself as a real estate. If you say you're a realtor, somebody will call you an agent. They say, okay, agent. No, introduce yourself as a real estate consultant. The name you call yourself is what you represent and appeal before people. You want to compete cooperatively among competition, you have to give yourself an added leverage, added edge. If you go there in the land, say you are a real estate consultant, they will look at you differently. They will address you differently. When you go there, you say you are a realtor. They'll call you an agent too. Please, you are not an agent. You are not an agent. Agents are not professionals. We are professionals. The third one is find enough customers. The third step is to find enough customers. Knowledge creates awareness, but the community creates wealth. Knowledge creates awareness, but the community creates wealth. You want to make more money, get more people on board. In the presence of every community, there is potential wealth. You see how banks make a lot of money. They understand that if they take 10 naira from your account or 5 naira, you will not come and chastise them. So they have made it a habitual culture. Maintenance, service charge, maintenance this one, maintenance. They'll be taking 15 naira, 20 naira, 10 naira. By the time they take 10, 20, 15 naira, from 10,000 customers, they're making hundreds of millions. Because that money does not make sense to you. The difference between the rich and the poor is in the value they attach to small money. The poor man does not value small money. The rich man values small money. You can see a rich man, you owe him a little change. He will say you should give it to him. But you see a broke and average guy, a bike stops him, the bike is owing him 15 naira. He says the bike should take it and go. You see an addicted business entrepreneur will not leave that money. You must give him. You will say this man is stingy and all that. They value small money. Okay? And small money is the secret of wealth. Some people in Alaba International Market, what they sell with is 15 naira. What they sell with is 100 naira. Okay? But with that 100 naira, when you multiply it by the community that they represent, the community that they sell to, they'll make huge amount of money. All right? So, some people, you wonder, you see them selling a kind of product, you just be wondering, why is this guy wasting his time selling this thing? I don't know how many of you have thought like that. You think they're wasting their time. Who will want to buy this thing? If those guys tell you how much they make, You will be surprised. That is what is in business. Sometimes you see these guys that does what is that, a scrap. You see the way they are dressed, carrying that thing, trekking all over the place. You are pitying them. You don't know how much they make. One of the richest guy in this town that every politician during election will go to meet is the highest scrap dealer in this town. He's a billionaire. He lives at Adofia. Yes, he's a billionaire. He deals on scrap. They make a hell lot of money, but in your reasoning, oh, this guy is suffering, killing himself. Look at how he's dressed. That is the secular mindset that the colonial masters brought. So to make you think that white collar job is more superior to someone who may appear dirty or hustling. But those guys are industry experts, making more money because they value small money. I know one of them came to buy one of my gas that had leakage. Is it 700 or 1,000, sir? 1.5. Cylinder. Cylinder, he bought it 1.5. Scrap, guys. You know how much we sell it. For him to sell 1.5, we sell like 3K or 4K or more. So this is the disruption of the system. All right. So become better than the people doing the job. Come into the system, take over the system, learn. The more knowledge you have, the more you take over the system. So the fourth step to marketing success is motivating customers to take action. Since we are talking about community, are you aware that you shouldn't just allow yourself to be a realtor under Big Real Property Consult Limited? Are you aware you should build a community or a customership around your realtorship? Every realtor should get other realtors under him. Create a WhatsApp group. Tell people you are doing free training. Go and get 50 people, 100. Some of you are so popular in your little circle. Even if those people are secondary school guys or anybody who does not have money, gather them and pack inside that place. Call me. Sir, I want you to train for me. Even if you don't have money, I will understand. But please, even if it is wine, buy and send across. Yes, now. Because you must go tender something, have a ticket that go through life. Even if you don't have, everything is not about money. But try to tender something. All right? So, put something at the table. I will come. I will talk to those guys. Okay? You will learn from them. The more you keep learning, tomorrow you keep teaching them. You now tell them once every week, every Wednesday by 8 p.m. online here, we're having sessions. Even if it's to go and read a chapter of a business book, use it and teach them. Now he has 50 people. You have 50 people. You have 50 people. All of us here have 50 people. Guess what? I can comfortably tell you that I have 500 audience because I have taught for all the 50 that we have. We have created a community. We have built customers without stress. You have people you know, sir. You have people you know. Is it not very easy? Get 20 people, get 30 people on board. Don't tell them to pay money. No, let them just be within your community. Do you know that secondary school guys can sell lands now? Create awareness among them. You don't need to go to university dons and all of that. Those guys, I saw one small boy, 12 years old. They say he bought Muzzle, Toyota Muzzle. He was driving it. The video was all over it. I don't even know how the guy learned how to drive. Very short guy, very brief guy. There are people now that have money. You'll be shocked. Please, opportunities dress in rag. Oftentimes, they don't come in their true color. You see that person you're also talking with, casualizing talking. That is a business potential walking around you. Talk to them about business. Talk to them. Tell them you have an available land. Put them in your platform. In fact, everybody here, go and create a WhatsApp group. Create a WhatsApp group. If we are doing programs like this, they should enter. If you are in a general principal platform of your company, create your own group. Your own group will be so loyal to you. Tomorrow, if we are doing anything, all you need is, let's get 50 people from Kingsley. Let's get 50 people from this person. Let's get 50 people from, it's very simple. We'll build a community effortlessly. All right. So motivate customers to take action. From there, it's easier for you to even close sales. Okay, one person in the community just introduces somebody that can pay for a land. You have 30 people, you have 50 people, and they brought a client. What the company knows is that you brought a client. If we pay you 150,000 as 10% commission or 200,000, you devolve yourself into the group. Share 2K to all of them. If there are 30 of them, you give them 60K. Everybody did not make the sale. One person brought the sale, but you have shown them result, because result gets people more committed. Responsibility creates what? Attachment. So they have seen, they didn't do anything, they got 2K. Even the guy that sold, you can even give him 5K or 10K. You have recreated their mind and structure. They will become more proactive and you have committed them to action. Okay? There are people within your immediate community. Engage them. That is your money walking around and you don't know. All right? The fifth one is communicating on a regular basis. Communication is the principal factor for success. We have one more to go. Communicate. I don't like staying with people who don't communicate. We talked about strategic communication in our last training. I told us that 70% of people in real time tend to, say what they don't mean and mean what they don't say. What does that mean? They often try to say something that is in their mind without knowing that they didn't say the thing that is in their mind. Okay? They will say something different from what is in their mind. Let me bring it down. Okay, have you experienced somebody that said something to you and you understood something different? At the end of the day, you say, I thought I told you this. That I thought is what is in their mind, but that was not what they said. So 70% of people in real time tend to communicate something different from what is in their mind because of communication barriers. We thought that's a full course we're not coming to do here. So communication is very important in business. You must learn how to say what you mean and mean what you say. Even to clients, so that you will not say, when I even say this, I say, it is better to tell a client that a land is 10 minutes away from Isheke market. And you discover that it's 5 minutes. Than for you to go and say it's 5 minutes, and at the end of the day, the client go, it is 10 minutes. Because once the person feel less communicated over with or deceived, you have lost him even along the way before you get to the property. You must communicate everything as it is. Tell them as it is. Some of us bank on words, and when they get something that it does not look like it, they pull away. The last one, the last step to marketing success is make sales. Make sales. Make sales. Make sales. And on this ground, I will tell you part of the reason why most people don't make sales is because they don't have the authority to sell. You must have the authority to sell. And the authority to sell is owning a subject matter of what you are selling. Own a land. If you don't have a land, you don't have the authority to convince someone else to buy. That's what we call the authority to buy. So if you want to successfully convince someone to, buy your product as land, as realty, own a land. All right. There's something we call environmental consciousness. There's something we call business consciousness. Once you walk into it and taste it, you pull the forces of the universe to agree with you, conflagrate with you, and then sponsor you towards achieving things within that similitude and civilization. All right. So that's the idea. So